All right, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome if you are new here. Thank you guys so much for joining me today and waiting for the intro to finish up. Hat off for $80 games. I mean, geez, man. Of all the reasons to take my hat off, $80 games. Yeah, guys, welcome back to the stream. Appreciate you joining me today. So I was up pretty late last night watching that Death Stranding stream. I actually totally forgot it was happening. I just went on YouTube and I'm like, oh wait, yeah, this is happening tonight. And I watched it. I don't know how many of you guys watched it, but it was good, man. It was different, you know. It felt kind of reminiscent of what you would expect to get maybe 7-8 years ago, where you're getting a live gameplay demo. You don't really see that anymore. Corey, what's up, man? Gaming Survivor, VAR. Yeah, there was no stream yesterday. Basically, I've been seeing a lot of people asking, if everything's okay. First of all, everything's okay. So no worries there. But yeah, I don't know. I just didn't want to stream the Xbox show, man. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't interested enough, to be honest. I don't know why. I don't know. It was weird. I guess it's just because I figured whatever's going to be shown, chances are most of it's going to be on PS5. And I looked over the announcements, and there are definitely some games that were shown that are interesting. Some third-party games. I know that they highlighted Gears of War again. They announced that handheld. But I got to say, you know what really surprised me when I was looking over all the announcements is apparently their one last thing announcement was Call of Duty. I'm like, whoa. Wow. Okay, that's a choice. That's definitely a choice. But yeah, Black Ops 7 right after Black Ops 6. So I guess they're doing a Modern Warfare thing there. But yeah, it seems like people enjoyed it. It seems like it was good overall, generally speaking. Yeah, the Call of Duty trailer was actually pretty funny because I was watching it. I saw it and I'm like, what game is this? Oh, this seems like something big, something different. And they really threw me for a loop there. And they're like, it's Call of Duty. And I'm like, yo, what? Mepsic, I'm sorry, buddy. I missed your milestone chat. Mepsic, member for 47 months. Thank you for that, buddy. Saying, all right, guys. All right, guys. And Sean Mitchell with a super chat says, wow, what a show Hideo had today / last night. Definitely a Game of the Year contender. Neil giving off Snake crying the combat caught me off guard. Yeah, dude. It was really it was an interesting decision for Kojima to show off that boss battle. I think he knew people wanted to see more of Neil. And what was really interesting to me was his willingness to show off a live demonstration of the boss battle. Got to give him credit for that, because there were a couple parts where you could tell I forget who was playing the game, but whoever was playing it, they almost died a couple times and got caught in some awkward positions. But yeah, man, the game looks awesome. And one of the things I want to say when I was watching that Death Stranding thing last night was even through the stream, I couldn't believe how good the game looked. I was like, my God, it looks so damn good. It's not surprising at this point because we've seen it a few times, but I mean, it looks like so many areas of the game look genuinely photorealistic. So stoked for it. Yeah, I mean, Kojima did reiterate that it's still a delivery game. You know, he was trying to show off some action, and did Kojima leak the ending yet? He was trying real hard to avoid spoilers. I'm a little concerned about how much Troy Baker is going to be singing in this game, though. Anybody else getting a little concerned by that? They would not stop talking about how this man's just going to sing the entire time, and I'm like, oh God. I don't know if I should be excited for this. And Corey the Legend Landiga comes in, dropping 20 membership gifts on you guys. Corey coming out of nowhere. He's dropping the 20 bomb, bro.
Holy shit.
Luna's over there in the entryway with her ears going backwards. Corey's like, Metal Gear Online, bro. Corey, thank you so much for dropping 20 membership gifts onto the community here. Immediately getting us up to 20, so just 5 away from hitting the first goal. And Hellbound 1981 comes in and he does it. He dunks it. He takes it home. He drops 5 more membership gifts, gets us to 25. And now we can immediately feed the beast.
Boast, do you read me? It's time to feed the beast.
Come on, boss. Oh. Uh-oh. What's going on here? He's over here hissing. Boss is not happy, bro. You snooze, you lose, boss. You should have been in position. He was on the other side of the room. Luna was over here. She's like, I'm waiting. All right, well, boss, Luna's gonna go first. Sorry, dude. You'll live. Here you go, Luna. Well, that was quite a surprise. But Corey, Hellbound, thank you guys so much for collectively dropping 25 member gifts before we even really get into the stream and get into any of the discussions. I have to hold on one moment, and I got a couple more super chats I'll read. For this, we'll do lay a catnip. There we go. Yeah, guys, if you want to support the channel, you could drop a super chat, become a member, drop a member gift, direct donation. These are all ways in which you can help support the content here in the community directly. We are fully fan funded. I don't do sponsorships as long as I don't have to. So thank you guys for that. And 18 May, a member for 21 months says, wait, MBG, you watched, but just didn't stream. Why not stream? It's great content for the channel. Beyond confused. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just kind of had it on in the background, and I was just doing stuff. But yeah, to be honest, man, like, I enjoyed streaming the State of Play, although I think I overreacted to it. Summer Game Fest was fine, but I just kind of, I don't know, I couldn't deny that, like, I really had no hype for the Xbox show. And I don't know, man, I figured we'll just see what's announced. And if there's anything like really worthwhile, like anything really truly exciting, I'll talk about it. Nobody's going anywhere. It probably would have helped the channel. I mean, there's no denying that, but I didn't want to force it, But I looked over all the announcements once it was wrapped up. And another thing I want to say is I had no interest. I noticed Microsoft's been doing this thing with their directs. They've been adding on a direct for a game once the showcase wraps up. I had no interest in the Outer Worlds 2, and as soon as the showcase, as soon as I saw that Call of Duty reveal, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna head out now. I was a little bit worried that, like, man, is this going to be like the biggest showcase ever? Well, you don't have to. You don't have to if you don't want to, right? You think Summer Game Fest over the Xbox showcase is crazy? I mean, the two main draws for Summer Game Fest were, I want to see what PlayStation's going to show up with. It was a little bit underwhelming. I was prepared for that, though. Death Stranding. But Resident Evil 9. And that's why I was like, dude, everybody was so upset when Jeff Keighley trolled And it's like, sorry, no Resident Evil 9. We'll show it when we're ready. Everybody was so upset, and I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. I mean, if you want me to apologize, I'll apologize. I'm sorry if you were anticipating me streaming the Xbox show tomorrow, or not tomorrow, yesterday. I'm sorry if you were disappointed that I didn't show up. I do apologize. But I don't know, man. I just think the whole novelty with the Xbox PlayStation thing, it's become, simply put, it's become toxic to the point where, like, yeah, I don't know that I want to partake in it anymore. You know? Like, the one game I was going to be upset if I wasn't streaming live and it showed up, and I was like, it's probably going to happen, was State of Decay 3, and it didn't show up. I have to admit, I was kind of surprised, but I'm like, whoa, dude, like, really? Like, still no State of Decay 3 gameplay or release date or anything like that. I was disappointed, but there were some games I saw that looked pretty interesting. Nothing from Microsoft first party, interestingly enough. And that's, I have to say, like, after looking over it, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of, it's probably for the best I didn't stream it, because there was nothing first party from Microsoft that I was interested in. I mean, maybe Black Ops 7. Oh, you know what, though? They did show a new trailer for Tony Hawk. So there is that. So, I mean, some Activision stuff I'm interested in. But outside of that, man, there were third parties that it was cool to see. Kind of like with Summer Game Fest and some of the stuff at State of Play. You know, a lot of third party stuff coming. It's getting overwhelming. It's been overwhelming. I spent a lot of time yesterday still playing Days Gone, realizing, like, I'm still not done this game. Like, I cannot believe I forgot how long Days Gone is. Like, I'm over 50 hours in this game and haven't beaten it yet. I got to be close to the end now, though. Yeah, I was hoping for Crackdown 5. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, yeah, Gaming Survivor, I get where you're coming from, man. I get where you're coming from. And, you know, part of it is on me. Like I said, I do apologize. I told people I was going to stream it, and then I just never showed up. That's unlike me. I don't really do that when it comes to, like, anticipating live events. But yeah, I feel like I made the right call ultimately. I was a little bit afraid that, you know, by the end of it, it was gonna be like something major happened, and I'm like, oh my god, I missed it, and I wasn't streaming live for it. But luckily, that didn't happen. All right, Sean Mitchell with a super chat saying, folks saying that they think we'd become tomorrow in the game. I think there's more of a chance we become Neil, to be frank. Although I think we will just be Sam. I mean, people I think they're kind of in this frame of mind with Death Stranding 2 that there's going to be, like, some kind of major bait and switch, like similar to MGS2. And it does seem like there's a possibility of that happening, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's just like, maybe there's like a playable segment here or there. You know, who knows? Maybe you play as Higgs at some point, right? I don't think it's going to be something like MGS2, though, where, like, okay, now 3/4 of the game is played as a different character. I don't know that Kojima's going to do that again. But yeah, it does seem like there could be a playable portion for tomorrow, for Higgs, Neil, right? I mean, he's really been teasing Neil, and I'm really curious to see what happens with Neil, because, yeah, he seems like a really cool character. He's definitely playing that Mads Mikkelsen Cliff character. Brandon with a super chat says, Xbox revealed Mudang yesterday. I was excited to see it coming to PS5. Yeah, that was one of the trailers I came across that I was like, holy shit, this looks awesome. And yeah, like, when I was watching it, I was like, please let this be coming to PS5, because I want to play this. This looks really good. And yeah, that was a nice one. And there was that other game. What was it? Dawnwalker, I think. we got a gameplay trailer for that. And I'm like, that looks really promising as well. So, like I said, there were absolutely games that I saw, which maybe it is a little bit regrettable that I didn't stream it. I don't know. But there were games that I saw. I'm like, okay, like these games. These are games I wanted to. Well, Mudang, that was the first time I ever saw that. I don't know if that was a game that was advertised previously. That one felt like it came out of nowhere, but there were a few others. Chris Brown with a super chat says, hope we don't get weird anime girl moments in Death Stranding 2. You definitely will. Yeah, absolutely. Chris, I'm sorry to say. It's happening. It's happening. Prepare yourself. We have Michael Lynch saying, what was surprising about it? The no stream was the fact that you kept telling people that you were going to stream it. I was looking forward to it. Yeah, like I said, man, I apologize for that. I'm just going to have to... Yeah, I mean, it's on me, right? Like, I can't do anything about it. I chose not to stream it. Oh, okay. All right, Michael, you said you sent that before I started explaining. Yeah, I mean, look, man. So here's an important thing I'm going to add to this conversation. Just so hopefully it makes things a bit more clear, like going forward. I said earlier that one of the reasons I chose not to stream the Xbox showcase is because I'm not enjoying the novelty of Xbox embracing PlayStation, in my opinion, has worn off and is over, right? Like, to be honest, like, I didn't see, when I was watching any of the trailers I saw yesterday, I wasn't really so much worried about, like, is it coming to PlayStation or not? For some of them, maybe. But for most of them, it's just like, the assumption is, like, they're probably coming to PlayStation. So it really, it turns into another show overall. And that's fine. But what I notice is that for a lot of people in this space, a lot of people, it's still not that. For a lot of people, it's still an excuse to console war, an excuse to platform war, an excuse to, troll and cause strife. And I'm done, man. Like, Microsoft is full-blown third party out here. You're going to be able to play PlayStation games on Steam on a device that has the Xbox logo on it. I have no more tolerance. And it's gotten to a point where it's like, yeah, I'd rather not stream that event knowing the type of toxicity it's potentially going to invite. And yeah, because what it boils down to is I'm not that interested in Xbox, man. I'm not. Like, it's great that they're, bringing their games over to PlayStation 5. It's great that they're giving, people who are subscribed to Game Pass, they seem totally happy. And it's like, great, man. Like, that's good. Like, everything's good. That's what I'm trying to say is, like, everything seems to be good right now. And I don't want to invite unnecessary friction, because for me, it just simply boils down to, when I tuned in, whatever, I didn't watch the whole thing yesterday, but for the parts that I saw, all I was interested in is, what games do I want to play? And it's unfortunate. The same thing happens when I stream the State of Play, The same thing happens when I stream the State of Play. It's not exclusive to just the Xbox Showcase. It's just, there's going to be changes made to the channel. All right. They're not going to be dramatic. I don't think they're going to be drastic. But it's just like, I'm not, like, there is essentially going forward, there's going to be a zero tolerance policy for console warring, trolling, toxic fanboyish behavior. I'm done. Like, we are done. And if that's a problem, you're going to have to leave. And I honestly felt like, trying to make that statement and, like, let people know, like, we're going to be getting away from that stuff. Trying to do that during an Xbox showcase, probably not the best time to do it. Probably not going to go down well. And that's one of the main reasons. Again, I apologize that I let people know that I was going to be streaming it, but I just have to be, brutally honest, man, in that I've reached, I guess you could say, like a breaking point of like, I refuse to be dragged into the I refuse to be taken to the island, if that makes sense. The island where people are still there, they're still, beating each other over the head like it's like 2015. I'm not doing that anymore. And part of that is there are going to be things that Xbox announces that I am interested in, that I'm going to probably partake in. I don't know how much of it I'm going to bring to the channel, because the fact of the matter is, this is a PlayStation channel. I've made that clear. And one of the biggest criticisms that I believe I have fairly received over the years is, for a PlayStation channel, you seem to talk a lot about Xbox. Now, granted, I always justified that by saying, well, yeah, because Xbox is Sony's main competition. You know what I mean? Like, they are the main competition. Everything that Microsoft does, Sony's probably going to react to, vice versa. So it's important to kind of pay attention to this. That is over. Like, it's been over, but yesterday, after seeing that showcase and seeing what was revealed and the way Microsoft positioned it, they got PS5 logos everywhere. You're going to be able to play Sony PC games on an Xbox handheld. It is over. And so it's good, because it means that now, like, hopefully most people can just take a step in the right direction. And it's like, all right, guys, like, there are no more console wars. There should be no more fanboying. Go where you want to go. Enjoy what you want to enjoy. And talk about it. Enjoy yourselves. Like, there's more options than ever before. Doesn't mean there shouldn't be criticisms. There's always going to be criticisms. But the fact of the matter for me is, Microsoft is a third-party publisher now. And I watched that show for what I saw of it, and I saw the reveals, and I looked at it the same way I would look at like a Ubisoft show or a EA show, or like watching Summer Game Fest, where it's like, all right, yeah, there's going to be a lot of stuff here that, it's just, the platforms don't matter. It's just a matter of like, am I interested in this game or not? And there were a handful of games that I was interested in, but there is a chance that I'm not going to lock it in. I'm not going to set it in stone. So, I don't want to. The mistake I made with talking about the Xbox showcase is, I told you guys I was going to stream it, and then I didn't. So again, I apologize for that. But I think there is a chance going forward. I'm just not really going to be. I'm not going to be streaming Xbox shows. I'm not going to be really covering. I'm not going to be covering Xbox in that way, because I'm not interested in that brand that way. I'll be honest with you, man. Seeing Xbox bow out like this, it's nice in a way, because it's like, well, damn, like, they're embracing PlayStation. But I realize that the removal of competition has made, like, a lot of my interest in that brand went with it. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means that the framing of the content on the channel is different now, where, I enjoyed watching that Death Stranding presentation more than I enjoyed watching most of that Xbox showcase. But to be fair, I think I enjoyed that Death Stranding presentation more than I enjoyed Summer Game Fest and State of Play. I don't know, man. I feel like it's just a matter of, I don't want to turn the channel into, I'm just going to cover everything for the sake of covering everything. Because the reality is, people are going to get upset. People are going to get really upset, because they're going to be like, do you even like this? It's like, no, I don't. Like, I was laughing at that Call of Duty reveal yesterday. I was like actually laughing out loud. I'm like, holy shit. I saw people hyping themselves up thinking this was going to be like a Elder Scrolls announcement, and it's Call of Duty. And I was laughing at myself because I thought it was something else too. I'm like, holy shit, what is this? This is big. Like this is their closer. What is this game? With this CG trailer and this butterfly, and oh man, this is going to be a new IP, and it's like, it's fucking Call of Duty. And I'm like, holy shit. Okay, like, it's not bad. It's like, of course, it's Call of Duty. It's your biggest game. I get it. But it's like, yeah, man, like, I'm good. You know, like, I'm good. It's Black Ops 7. You know, that's cool. I know, Chris. I know, dude. I know. And again, like, I'm not trying. I don't want to gaslight anybody in my audience because that's not right. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But it's just, I feel like I'm at an inflection point, truthfully. Like, I'm at an inflection point where it's like, how much do I need, how much of my content needs to be focused on Xbox in order for me to enjoy whatever they're delivering? If they're delivering anything I'm interested in. Probably not much. It's like I'll give you an example. Yesterday, the Xbox Handheld was revealed with Asus, I think. And it was interesting to see the reactions from people. But I just realized, like, I have literally less than zero interest in this thing. I don't have anything good to say about it. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I don't have a thought on it other than it's a thing. That's cool. And that's it. And that's how I feel about 80%, 80 to 85% of what was shown yesterday. To be fair, a similar thing happened with Summer Game Fest. A similar thing happened with State of Play. So I just don't want to force anything, you know, ultimately. How much time do you spend on EA or Ubisoft? Give it that energy. Well, that's what I mean, pushing polygons. Like, I realize, like, I'm getting tired of people coming into the channel and being like, but Game Pass. It's like, we're not talking about Game Pass. I don't care about Game Pass. But Xbox is saving PlayStation. No, they're not. Go away. Like, no. Where are the games? We literally just got an hour and a half demonstration for a game that's coming out in 2 weeks. I'll be honest with you, man. I've just gotten tired of the toxicity of these fan bases where it's like, it's not exclusive to Xbox. If you're somebody who can't stop being a radical fanboy for Xbox, for PlayStation, for Nintendo, for PC, whatever it is, you're not welcome here. Period. There are so many other places you are welcome. This is not one of those places. And to be honest, a major reason why I didn't stream that Xbox showcase was because I didn't want to see it from the PlayStation side either. Because God knows I saw that yesterday too. I saw it on both sides. I saw people, it's always the same thing. It's always the same thing, you know? Oh my God, that Xbox showcase just murdered Sony. You know, like Microsoft's saving Sony. And then you have, like, you know, PlayStation fanboys talking as if, like, bro, Microsoft literally told you we're going to support your platform. What's the problem? There is no problem. You know, there is no problem anymore. There are no problems here. It's just go where you want to go. And I didn't want to deal with that shit yesterday. And I still don't want to deal with it today. And I'm not going to want to deal with it tomorrow because it's over, dude. It's just over. And I just think people need to, it's time for, I think, everybody to just focus on doing what you enjoy. Focus on what you enjoy. Focus on what's going to bring you some semblance of happiness in the gaming space. Yeah, it took long enough. I finally hit adulthood. All right, I'm running behind on the super chats. Sorry to keep you guys waiting. We have Michael Lynch, Josh Z. He says, State of Play breaks a record and proves Sony's doing something right with marketing despite how much the internet says otherwise. So funny, man. Yeah, I know. And that's why, like, I can admit that I overreacted, right? Like, there were certainly things that I think you could walk away from that State of Play with being like, well, that was kind of disappointing. And for me, it was that, that Marvel fighting game that they announced, that's like a megaton announcement for a certain portion of the gaming community that I'm kind of jealous of, where it's like, man, I wish I could feel that. But I didn't, and I realized, like, I think I overreacted, where I'm like, I did that thing again, where it's like, this show wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be. Sony didn't show me exactly what I wanted to see. So I'm going to throw a tantrum, and I did. And looking back on it, I realized, you know what? Actually, there were quite a few things that you saw that you enjoyed, but I was too hyper fixated on, I got to see this studio and I got to see that studio. And to be fair, nobody would tell me that there's anything wrong with expecting that. And it's okay to be disappointed, but yeah, man, I don't want to fall into I don't want to feed the very thing that I'm trying to get away from, which is, it's the overreaction of it all. It's the overreaction to, like in my opinion, the State of Play was not my favorite, and I was a little bit disappointed. But all things considered, I was, a lot of people were happy. A lot of people were like, holy shit, like, this was a very Japanese-focused State of Play. It's good to see Sony leaning into that. It's good to see. It's good to see Sony actually kind of deviating, from what people expect. And I'm like, okay, yeah. I guess it's just not necessarily what I was hoping for, right? But the same can be said for, well, to be honest, going into Summer Game Fest, I always have very low expectations because I know it's a long show, and I've watched Summer Game Fest shows where I'm like, this is just a drag. I've seen Summer Game Fest shows where it was pretty good. So it was kind of going into it as a mixed bag. I'm like, listen, if we get Resident Evil 9, I'm happy. And we did. I'm like, okay, I'm happy. The Xbox Showcase, kind of the same thing for me, where it's like, it was fine. It was okay. It didn't, there's nothing I saw that made me get excited. Like really excited. But there were a couple things I saw, I was like, ooh, I want to play that. That's what it boils down to. That's all that matters. But yeah, Josh, getting back to what you're saying, yeah, dude, their State of Play broke a record. They're doing something right. I don't know what exactly it is, but they're doing something right. Michael Lynch, you're saying I had zero interest when I saw it was Call of Duty at the end. Super Meat Boy 3D looked amazing. Yeah, they had a couple of trailers that for games that I knew were going to be big for people. Super Meat Boy 3D was one of them. I saw that they what was that one? God, it's the one with the talking gun. I forget the name of it. Came out a couple years ago, but it's getting a sequel. Yeah, Chronos was there, which was nice. That's coming out this fall. High on Life. There you go. Yeah, that was getting a sequel, or is getting a sequel, and people were excited about that. I saw Grounded was getting a sequel too, which was a little surprising. So any Grounded fans out there are probably feeling pretty good. Nicodemus, a member for 20 months, says, missed you yesterday for the Xbox show. Ton of bangers. Hope you and the family are doing well. Well, thank you for that. We're doing well. And yeah. I mean, it was a little strange not streaming on a Sunday, I got to admit. No, I don't play. I did play Grounded. Microsoft sent me a code for that a while ago to try out, and I tried it. I'm like, well, it's not for me, but I could see why people got into it. Very heavy on the survival gameplay. Michael Lynch, you're saying Monday is the new Sunday. Yeah, there we go. And you say here, surely you don't mean we can't defend PlayStation when an Xbot makes a stupid comment. Do you mean just spam things? No. So, so there's not going to need to be a defense because I'm not going to let it happen anymore. There's not, like, the moment people start arguing about something I deem stupid, such as, this is better than that, and we're now going to just argue over it, out. We're not doing that. If people can't get along, then that's not my problem, and I'm not going to make it my problem. That is the problem. You are what you tolerate. And I've been way too tolerant and too laissez-faire when it comes to, like, people projecting their own, like, not opinions, but just, like, putting those opinions out there in a toxic way where it's like, yeah, you're just baiting people and you're being an asshole. So simply put, if you're being an asshole, you're not welcome here. Go somewhere else. And and I'm not saying you, Michael, but it's like, if somebody hears that and their first inclination is like, "Are you talking to me?" It's like, I don't know. You tell me. Are you an asshole? You know what I mean? It's that simple. So probably not talking about most people here right now, but yeah, man, my tolerance is gone. I have no more tolerance. I've reached my end point. I've dealt with this, and that goes for PlayStation players too. If you're going to be a dick to to people who enjoy stuff on Xbox, welfare pass and X trash and shit, you're out. I'm serious. Like, we're not doing it anymore. It's over. And if that is something that people have a problem with, like I said, there are plenty of places you can go where people will allow you to be that way. And if you're a cat hater, yeah, see, Prince G, like, I'm going to ban you. I'll give you a warning. I'm going to ban you. Member or not, dude. Like, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not letting anybody do it anymore. I'm serious. Like, I'll give people warnings because I understand it's like I've been too tolerant, but it's over. It's fucking over. Either learn how to speak decently to other people, or that's it. And Prince G, I'm glad you're saying that, because this is another thing I want to point out. Just because you pay me $5 a month doesn't mean you can say whatever you want and behave however you want. I appreciate that support, and I want you to stay here. I want you to be a part of the community, just like everybody else that's here right now. I want everybody to be here and to enjoy the environment and to get along, but you can't put a price on just, me trying to create a healthier environment for not just me as the person who's running the channel, but for anybody else who comes in. So, when somebody says, "Hey, man, that Xbox showcase, we got a lot of great games to look forward to in Game Pass," and somebody says, "Who cares about Game Piss?" The person who said that the person who decided I'm going to call Game Pass Game Piss and be an asshole to somebody for expressing their interest and excitement for no reason, that's the person that's going to get banned. Just like if somebody comes in and says, "Hey, man, that Death Stranding 2 presentation looked great," and somebody says, "Oh, Death Stranding 2 looks like a piece of shit game. Who the hell even wants to play that? Only an idiot would play that game," or something. Or, people who don't know what good games are. Like, you're out. At this point, I'm creating an expectation where you're gonna start speaking to each other in the chat the way you would if you were in person. That's what you have to say? That me making that decision means this channel's headed down the toilet? No respect for my audience? Did you not hear anything I just said? Okay. Okay. Well, I can agree with that, Prince G. You're saying that's not the reality today. You're right. But you know what? That's the thing. That's where I'm trying to take a little bit of control here, where it's like, you know what? I don't give a shit what else is going on out there. Okay? The way the world is, the way every other internet forum is, other channels, I don't care. This is my channel. And what matters to me is that when people come into the chat, they don't have to worry about, hey, man, I want to express my excitement for this thing. And the first thing they're going to be met with is, well, fuck that thing and fuck you. And it's like, what? No. If somebody's like, to be clear, because I know that, this is a question that's going to pop up. So this means I can't disagree with people. No, you absolutely can. That's what will create interesting conversations. Disagree every day, all day. Just don't be rude to one another. That's it. I believe we are mostly all adults here. I'm assuming we're all adults. I'm just asking you to, when you respond to somebody, do so as if you were hanging out with them in person. Would you really speak to somebody like that in person? No, because you'd probably get punched in the face. And that's it. I just want people to be a little bit more mature. And look, I understand people are going to say, well, what about you, MBG? Hey, I'm not saying I'm innocent. I'm not saying I'm innocent. I'm just saying I'm at a point where I'm looking to make some changes. Hopefully for the better. Hopefully for the better. I don't see how this could be a bad thing. Nicodemus gets it. Yeah, there you go. Well said. Just, try to articulate your thoughts. Don't focus on bashing. Don't focus on buzzwords. Articulate your thoughts. And the best part about this is if more people can begin to do this, the conversations are going to get more interesting. They're going to get more interesting. Because you're not seeing people just throwing buzzwords around and hurling insults. The trolls are in panic mode. Well, and I'll say that too before I move on with the rest of these super chats. Yeah, I have to hold myself accountable, and you guys have to hold me accountable. If I can't do what I'm asking you guys to do, right, then we have a problem. And you guys are going to have to point out, be like, bro, we're just, if it's like, hey, we're just a reflection of you, okay, I'll be able to accept that. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens, but trust me, man, I've been around this shit long enough to know that, like I said, you are what you tolerate. And if you aren't what you tolerate, you will become what you tolerate, whether you like it or not. Lux, you're saying Switch 2 did 3 million in sales in 24 hours, beating the PS4 record of 1 million. Oh, the PS4 had the record? I didn't know that. Of course, to beat another PS4 5 record of 4.5 million sales in 2 months within its first week. I saw some reports going around about how well the Switch did, and I don't know if any of it's verified, but I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if the Switch 2 represents the greatest disconnect of like, here's what the internet's saying and how the internet's reacting. Here's the reality, right? I wouldn't be surprised at all. I'm fully expecting that we're going to find out the Switch 2 is going to do even better than the Switch 1, regardless of all the negative PR or any of the backlash. I've been seeing that too. I've been seeing people saying they're expressing regret, and basically insinuating that like they caved to the FOMO and now they like immediately regret it. And it's like, well, I don't know. I mean, I think from at least this is just based off of my own observation. I think a lot of people knew deep down like they're gonna buy this thing. Like you're gonna buy a Switch 2. You know, you're gonna get caught up in a lot of the rage and the angst of like $80 games, greedy Nintendo. I hate this company. They're disrespecting me. They're disrespecting the customer. This isn't worth it. You know, whatever it may be. But I think deep down, a lot of people knew like none of that matters. You know, you're going to end up getting one. And I understand like from a human psychology level why you don't want to just admit that right from the get-go, because it's basically just you saying, yeah, I'm completely okay with this. What a lot of people are going to do is express their frustration and maybe do so in, you know, maybe sometimes in a dramatic way, but they're going to, you know, over time, they're going to cave and they're going to have their reasons. But yeah, I just think, I'll be honest with you, I think most people who really don't want to Switch to, you won't even see them talking about it. You know what I mean? I think that the people who want it, they're not really talking about it because they're just like, yeah, I'm getting it. That's it. That's it. I'm getting the Switch 2. The people who don't want it, they're not getting it. And then they're moving on. And I think it's really the people who are kind of torn, where it's like they want it, but they don't want to condone the, you know, some of the business practices that Nintendo is putting into effect. But I just think that the reality of it is you're probably going to get one. For most of those people, you're going to get one eventually. You may as well just give it up. You know, like just, it is what it is, man. It's fine. It's fine. And I think the fact that like, if what you're saying is true, Lux, that like if this data turns out to be true, it's like it just annihilated it just like broke every record. It's like, yeah, a lot of people did exactly what I've seen them do time and time again, which is I'm going to type angrily on the internet and tell you why I am against this thing and I don't want this thing and this is the worst thing and you shouldn't spend your money on it, to then in their own real life outside of the internet do that exact thing. It's just like, as much as I made fun of the Call of Duty reveal being like the one last thing, the amount of, it's the same cycle every year. Call of Duty is the greatest example of this, where it's like, bro, please stop saying you don't like Call of Duty and you're not buying it. Okay? Just please stop saying that. Just stop commenting on it, because there's no point. You know, I'm more inclined to believe that you are the person that's lying, because the people who want it are out there buying it silently. The people who don't want it are out there playing other things. And I think, again, all that's left is a not a majority, but a large group of people, or a medium-sized group of people, where they're like, well, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying that. No, I'm done. I'm done with Call of Duty. It's like, you're buying it. Come on. You're buying it. You know you're buying it. The person who's really not interested doesn't feel the need to go to a forum and tell people how uninterested they are. That's the reality, man. 18 May, you're saying MBG really enjoy the content and love watching your channel grow. Oh, wait, hold on, I lost you. But this is mind-numbingly out of touch. Do you think so? Well, I'm not trying to be in touch, man. Like, listen, I want my channel to grow. Obviously, I want us to do well. I want the channel to do well. I don't want to just follow what is expected to make that happen. Just to be clear, you know? Like, trust me, man, I see a lot of stuff out there. And yeah, exactly, Lux. If I wanted to, I could turn this channel tomorrow into okay, guys, we're going to be a full-blown PlayStation fanboy channel. Where like I want to encourage that behavior, and we're still, even though the console war is over, we're still just going to constantly fight Xbox fans. There's going to be constant conflict. That would create a lot of rage. That would create a lot of entertainment. That would create a lot of laughter, because I'd probably come off as a clown most of the time. And, that would in turn probably result in more viewership, probably more money. I care about those things, but I'm not going to compromise how I actually like my true honest feelings and just kind of shove that aside in the name of, well, this is what I'm supposed to do, right? This is what we're supposed to do. Everybody's got a role to play. I'm not trying to do that. And that's all it comes down to, You assume we'll never become a fighting game discussion platform. I mean, at certain points we might be. If you're looking for like a hardcore, like we're like deep in it, I'll probably never be that. Because I like fighting games, but I'm a super, super, super casual fighting game fan. Like I don't even there are a lot of like mainline fighting games that I just don't play or partake in. Mainly I like Tekken and I like Mortal Kombat. I played Injustice, but these are games that I just play very temporarily. And like pretty much every time I try to go online and actually do something, like I'm going to actually try to win online battles, I get wrecked. I come across unstable. Last week I was hyping up the Xbox show. Now you're saying you have no interest. No, I know. I know how it comes across. And I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything. All right. Maybe I am unstable. Maybe I am a crazy person. Whatever people want to think, that's fine. One of the things that I wanted to try, I told you guys I was experimenting. And that wasn't a lie. That was completely true. One of the things I was experimenting with is trying to take a different angle when covering Xbox. Because yes, the reality is, and New Soul 9, thank you so much for that super chat, man. I'll read that in just a moment. One of the things, and this is important for me to let you guys know, because especially for those of you who've been here for a while, I don't want people to be too caught off guard. One of the things I have done on the channel for the longest time was I'm going to evaluate Xbox on a critical level. Like I'm going to be hypercritical of Xbox and pay very close attention. And again, the justification is not only did I come from Xbox from playing there all throughout the 360 era, but more importantly, as I decided I actually like playing on PlayStation better, that I'm more comfortable here, that's the competition. Once I realized that's over, the competition is over, dude. Like, and it was a slow thing. It's not like we learned instantaneously last year, like just like that. It's over. It took about 9 to 12 months where like now it's fully out and it's like, this is it, man. There is no more, like they are partners. Sony and Microsoft are partners now. They're not competition. I realized that this means I have to make a decision. I'm either going to stop covering Xbox mostly or not entirely, because I don't think that's realistic, but like 99% I'm not covering it because they're just like a third-party publisher now. I'll cover them just as much as I cover any other third-party publisher because they're not a threat to Sony anymore or Nintendo. Like they're a partner. It's either that or I'm going to try to embrace Xbox in a different way now and see how that goes. And that's what I tried to do. And it's, I just have to be honest with myself where it's like, it's great having these games come over. And the novelty of it is like, oh my God, Indiana Jones is on PlayStation. And then like, oh man, Forza Horizon 5. It's like, this is great. This is crazy. Gears of War. And it's like, yeah, people will state, they will point out, they're like, well, I don't get it, man. Like these games existed the whole time. Are they just suddenly different games now that they're on PlayStation? And my realization is, no, they're not. And I know that they were never going to be, but it's just like, I got caught up in the novelty of it all, man, where I'm like, this is a big deal, guys. Like, I guess I should just, let's be happy. Like, I'm trying to be like positive about it. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just, I just have to be honest in that, dude, there's probably like 2 or 3 games coming from Microsoft. Well, not not Microsoft as a, like if we're counting Activision and Bethesda, there are definitely more games. But in terms of like State of Decay 3, yeah, like that's what I want. Like when I think of Xbox games, that's the game I think of. For most people, that's not what they think of. I just, it's like when people talk about Halo coming to PlayStation, like it's hard not to get caught up in the whole, oh my God, Halo on PlayStation. But that like if we're just strip it all away, it's fucking Halo. It's out there now. It's been out there. It's never not been there. Slapping a PlayStation 5 logo on it doesn't just suddenly change what it is. And that's where I just kind of had to accept that, like, yeah, man, you're getting the idea of getting caught up in the fact that it's not about the game itself. It's about the platform the game is on. It's caving and giving into it. In a way, it's keeping that toxic conversation alive where it should not be kept alive because it's Halo, dude. The only thing that I think needs to be expressed is that, hey, man, if you're somebody who only plays on PlayStation or just mainly plays on PlayStation, Halo's going to be coming. Enjoy it if you want. If not, okay. It's like nothing even happened. And another revelation of this is, again, man, like the Xbox Handheld came out. Or it's coming out. It was announced. And it's like, yes, dude, you're going to be able to buy that product. You're going to be able to buy an Xbox handheld that has an Xbox logo on it. And I don't know if it can play Xbox games natively. I didn't look that deep into it. But what I do know is that as of right now, Sony's not blocking anything. Sony's going to tell you, if you buy that product, you can buy The Last of Us Part 2. You can buy God of War. You can play those games on that handheld. Just like all the other handhelds that are out there. Oh, it doesn't natively play Xbox games? Okay. But even then, I mean, it's like, okay, well, all right. Like, here we are. So, what's left to be said? What's left to be said, man? Chris Brown, you're saying, don't let Twitter control your content. Oh, I agree. Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. Twitter sucks, man. I still use it, but man, it's just not fun over there. It's not fun. Like I actually have to approach Twitter as professionally as I can because it's that unfun. Like, dude, holy shit. I don't know what happened to people's minds over here, but it's not good. And you're saying you're my favorite MBG? Wish you'd ignore the trolls. Well, see, Chris, I'm not ignoring the trolls anymore. I'm expelling them. Trolls are going to exist all over the internet. I'm just saying, like, it's time for me to take control of the actual channel. Like this is my channel through and through. Not saying that some kind of like F you guys. Like, no, it's just like, I don't know why I've been so tolerant. Like I've been too welcoming to people who are just like, you're, if anything, the way you're behaving is making people want to leave. And I don't know why I'm tolerant of that. Get the fuck out. Not you, Chris. Obviously not you, but you know what I mean. And Michael Lynch says, your channel is better than Colt Eastwood's. Let's argue about it. Listen, bro. I don't watch Colt Eastwood's channel. I have no idea what's going on over there. I have no feelings whatsoever. I wish him the best, That's the last thing you'll ever catch me arguing about. Whose channel is better than who, bro? Like, if anything, what I say about gaming extends even further where it's like, bro, you got to go. Life is short. Time, you don't get time back, right? Go to the content creators that you get the most enjoyment out of, that you align with the most. Knight of Cypher, you're saying, I tip my hat to you. You're a good one. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that, bud. And Andreas says, thanks for aiming to keep the discourse civil on your channel. This isn't about not being able to criticize. It's about not being an asshole. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because I think that's one of the reasons why I would get so wrapped up on Twitter is because like it's just I think it's just people that have become way overly tolerant of like by you even choosing to engage in it, and I'm guilty of this a little bit too sometimes, like you are in a way indirectly condoning it. You're validating it. And I think that is definitely, I've let that bleed over here a little bit. And New Soul 9, thank you again for the $50 super chat, buddy. You're saying, hey, MBG, I suggest that you make a list on your channel bio of things that will automatically get you banned rather than you having to repeat yourself over and over again and giving people warnings. It'll save much more time and have productive conversation. And then you also say here, anybody had grilled cheese bacon with jalapeno? I'll check my Streamlabs in just a moment. That's actually a really good idea, and I'm glad you suggested that because you're right. That would make life a lot easier for me and I think everybody else. Where here are the ground rules. If it's too much, that's fine, But nobody will be surprised. Yeah, that would be a good idea. And to be fair, it shouldn't have to come to that, but I've allowed it to get to this point. So, yeah, I'm going to have to tap the rules. And we have Kareem Ali saying, hi, BG. Am I the only one that feels this year's showcase season has just been trash? I know there are exceptions, but where are the major game reveals that get people excited for the future? Well, I'll tell you right now, you're not the only one, but I think trash is too harsh of a word. I say that because I feel like when you look at just how many shows we got in a row, and apparently not Twitter, Jesus. Sorry, I was reading Twitter in the chat. When you look at other shows that are coming up, Konami has a dedicated show that they're doing. Where guys, look, I don't want to hype myself up too much. Okay, I got to be careful with this one. This is a dangerous one. Pretty sure that's where Metal Gear Online is going to get revealed. Could be wrong. I'm ready to be wrong. It's okay if I'm wrong. So it's going to be okay. But, man. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. Kareem, I think slightly underwhelming. That's how I would describe this showcase season. Slightly underwhelming. It wasn't bad. I don't think it was bad. And I think calling it trash is a bit harsh. I say that because one thing that I think is undeniable is if you watched every show, you saw a ton of games. Like a ridiculous amount of games across all the shows, and there's still more coming up. And I think the only way I could justifiably call a showcase season, like genuinely, like this is trash to me, is if I walked away and it's like, there was one or two games I saw across like hundreds of games. If that's all I got, I would feel like this is the worst ever. Like this is such a letdown. This should be more than that, right? But I find that hard to believe, man. Like there were so many games. I will say this though. You mentioned here the major reveals, the bigger stuff. I will say, no, I mean, look, man, I will say there is some truth to what you're saying where like, no matter how much you enjoy these shows, I think it is, I mean, maybe there would be people who deny it, but I think it's fair to say that it was lacking some kind of oomph, like that we've seen in previous years where like, yeah, there wasn't like a bomb drop across the board. There wasn't like the kind of like the one game reveal that sucks all the oxygen out of the room. I think Resident Evil 9 kind of got close to that. And that's the thing, like, what do we define as the bigger stuff? It's hard to say. I mean, it's like, I saw people going into Summer Game Fest thinking, oh shit, dude, like, Gabe's showing up with his yacht. We're gonna see like Half-Life 3. And I think like something like, I mean, it's almost comical to use that as the example, but like, yeah, if something like that dropped, it's like, it's over. Like that singular game defines the entire, it sucks up all the oxygen. I think like people who were expecting in Microsoft show yesterday, like an Elder Scrolls 6 trailer, something like that. I think like, oh shit, okay, that's going to be the one that sucks up all the oxygen. Marvel Token was that. And yeah, that's the thing, man, that's such a weird one to me because, like, again, I almost feel jealous where it's like I see the way people are reacting to that. It's like, God damn, I wish I could feel that way. I can't force it, like I'm not in the fighting games like that, but I'm extremely happy for them where it's like they got that moment. But I kind of understand where you're coming from, Kareem. It does kind of come off like, if not slightly underwhelming, certainly not overwhelming. I think on the high end, you could say this showcase season was very solid. On the low end, I think you could say it was mid to slightly underwhelming. But I don't think anybody could say that this showcase season was the worst, just like abysmal, like one of the worst summers we've ever seen for this. I think that's just objectively incorrect. But I think on the other end of that spectrum, if you say this was the best I've ever seen, I think that everybody would kind of agree that like really, like, is this the best you've ever seen? Like, you think this is the best? But it's tough. It's tough because, yeah, there is that level of subjectivity where, like, there are people out there where they're like, bro, that Marvel Fighting Souls game makes this the best summer showcase I've ever seen for that one game. I could say that for me if Metal Gear Online is real. Listen, if Metal Gear Online is real, like, nothing's going to bring me down. Nothing's going to bring me down unless it ends up sucking or something. And Night of Cypher, I'm sorry I missed that, man. Thank you for upgrading your membership to the Play Has No Limits tier. I very much appreciate that, bro. Thank you for the support. And we have Jerry Gamer saying, will Sony lock their games from the Xbox handheld? I've never seen... Jerry, we're not using the term bots anymore, bro. We're not talking about bots. No Xbots. No ponies. All right? We're going to try to get rid of that. We got to be better than that. Yeah, I'll write up a rule sheet. But you're saying you've never seen them so hyped for a handheld on X. Jesus, and to be honest, I enjoyed State of Play more than the Xbox show. Oh, Jesus. Richrod, I swear to God. Richrod, I need to know. The hammer's coming down, bro. It's been a long time coming. The hammer's coming down. Careful, Rich. We ain't playing today. We're not playing today. I do have a couple of direct donations, though. Give me one moment. Let me see here. Hold on. Okay, so Venino with the first one. He says, MBG, you were hyping the show even on X. My issue is we cover bad Xbox news day one, but why not cover something that united us as gamers? #games. And that's fair. Well, because to be honest with you, I feel like I've been trying to do that for months and months now, and to no avail. And maybe, look, I will admit, maybe I've tried too hard. I think that might be a real thing. I've tried too hard. I've like overcompensated. And that's why I was trying to be more willing to like, hey guys, like, let's be excited. These games are coming. And one of the things that I just simply will not deal with, and it's never going to go away unless I do something about it, is like people basically being like, okay, so you're trying to be better and do something good. We're going to work really hard to try to make sure that doesn't happen. And it's like, yeah, so not going to let that be a thing anymore. Vinino, the best thing I could say to you right now, man, is I didn't want to have this discussion during an Xbox showcase stream because people are not going, like, it's the worst possible time to have that conversation because people are going to be like, oh, so you're switching to Xbox or whatever. Like, no. Oh, you're just afraid of getting clipped or something. It's like, no, I get clipped no matter what the hell I say. Like, they're gonna, basically what I'm saying is, like, people are not gonna believe me because they're gonna think it's like, no, you're just doing this because you're streaming an Xbox show and there's a lot of people watching. And I'm like, you know what? In order to convey the seriousness of what I'm saying, I'm going to forego partaking in something that, like, to be honest, yes, it kind of hurts the channel a little bit. Like, I made that decision conscientiously yesterday, where it's like, okay, it's a sacrifice I'm gonna have to make, but it's to convey a more important point going forward, where it's like, I'm not here to point out like one group of people. And I think, again, trying to have this conversation on a day like yesterday, people would have thought for sure that I'm trying to call out one specific group, and it would have been too messy. So again, I do apologize for that. And we have Wallroar. He says, glad you and fans are okay. Had a few of us worried. Thank you for taking time and explaining your point of view. Although I'm a PC/Xbox play, I dig this community. And you also say you are correct making it about the games. It's the best. We're all gamers here from all corners. It's good that you are staying on your principles. And yeah, at the heart of it, Wallroar and everybody else, this is what I wanted. I want to, like, dig to get to the heart of it, because I there's a lot of really good people here, there's a lot of really good people. And I think, some of the people I encounter, they're not bad or anything. I just think some people, they see a lot of what is tolerated out there, like I said, and they think, well, this is the new normal. And it's like, I don't like the new normal. I don't. And I don't want to make people think that, just because this is what's going on out there, well, that's what's going to go on in here too. No, I don't like it. There's a lot of people here that I know don't like it either. And, people want to hold stuff over my head or certain people's heads of, like, stuff that happened like 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. And it's like, okay, that's fine. Everybody's got skeletons in their closet. Nobody's innocent. But why would you ever discourage somebody from trying to be better? Why? Because the people who do that, it seems like they have their own agenda. And it's not so great. And we also have Perfect Image. He says, the only reason I bought a Switch 2 and I didn't regret my purchase is because my daughter and my wife like the bundle, and she will be fine and willing to wait for cheaper. Well, there you go, man. Dude, that's the thing. Like, Nintendo has that advantage of kids love Nintendo, right? Kids want to Switch 2. And I think that there are a lot of adults who have kids that can kind of, like, yeah, I'm not too interested in the Switch 2, but, I had to get one anyway. I got the kids, got the wife, and it's like, meanwhile, you're secretly enjoying the hell out of it yourself. I think that's a pretty common thing, but yeah, that's the advantage that Nintendo has, man, and they know it. I think everybody knows it, and they don't shy away from it. Moonshot, you're saying Dying Light, Lost Soul aside, Metal Gear, all in August. My goodness, bro, insane amount of games all at once again. I know, like, I'm actually upset. Like, I'm genuinely upset at the amount of games that are launching in extremely close proximity to one another in a singular month. And the reality is, I want to play Dying Light. I think it looks great. I want to play Lost Soul aside. And also, you forgot to add in there Mafia, Moonshot, at the beginning of August. I want to play these games. The reality for me is, if anything even threatens to get in the way of Metal Gear, it gets cut out. It gets cut out. Doesn't mean I'm not going to play it. I am going to play it. It's just a matter of, like, yeesh. Raven X0, you're saying if there's a fall state of play, maybe they'll probably reveal a major IP or two. Probably save one major for the Video Game Awards. If not, then definitely a February 2026 state of play. I love the way it sounds. If not, though, definitely February. Well, yeah, man. There was a little bit of talk of a September PlayStation show, but that was done under the assumption or the belief that there was no June show. Mulan, you're saying, why aren't you making use of your muted words? Oh, yeah, you know what? I think, yeah, I think we'll do that. Yeah, that would be the easiest way to nip it in the bud. Yeah, I appreciate the suggestions, guys. Okay, listen, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. Certainly not people who support me. Listen, I do apologize, like sincerely, if I disappointed you. And I would completely understand if anybody has to make a decision that they don't want to support my channel or my content anymore. I understand. And I'm not gonna say you're wrong or there's anything wrong with that. That's totally fair. I'm not gonna beg either. You know what I mean? Because that's not right either. Like I want people to just make their own mind. Like if me not showing up to stream that show yesterday was like a breaking point, I get it. I do. I hope you'll reconsider, but totally understand if you don't. Richrod, bro. Guys, this is going to take some time, clearly. Reconditioning is what... Let me see. We have... Raven, just to get back to what you were saying with your chat, bro. Sony's going to do another show before the end of the year. Yeah, like they always do. Richrod's asking what happened. Okay, well, Richrod, to be fair, I think you came in late. Oh, God, you have a direct donation. Oh, Rich, this is not going to be good. Rich is going to be very unsettled, but Rich, it's time. The chickens are coming home to roost, bro. I'm not reading that. Rich, listen. What you just did, that was a $2 donation to the channel so I can keep creating content. And I thank you. Let him be grandfathered in. No. See, here's what I know. What I know is that Richrod is a normal dude capable of behaving normally. I know that's a fact. Okay, that is a fact. Richrod, we are cutting out the fanboyism and the console warring like a cancerous tumor. Okay? It is a cancer on the channel, and we are cutting it out today and every day going forward. Okay? We want to focus. Listen, I'm still a PlayStation-focused channel. That's not changing. If you subscribe to my channel because you like PlayStation and you want conversations and discussions about PlayStation and PlayStation games, you know why that's not going to change? Because that's what I do. That's what I'm interested in. I can't deal with the toxicity of the faux console war stuff anymore. And I'm going to take as many people with me as I can. We're going to do it together. Okay? We're going to do it together. We're going to get off this island. Michael, you can't say that. Do you want to get banned? Michael's like, you know what, though? You know what, MBG? I'm going to challenge you. Like, come on, man. Don't make me do it. I don't want to do it. I like you, Michael. Mulan, I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah, Night of Cypher, I'm so close. I'm so close. There's still certain tethers. Kareem Ali, you're saying, sorry, MBG. I should have just said it was mid. I just wasn't into Token and RE9. There were only a few games that caught my eye, and there were too many Souls games. And that's fair, man. Like, Kareem, bro, you don't have to apologize at all. Like, absolutely not. You do not have to apologize for having an opinion on the shows, man. Like, there were many moments and many things I've seen during these shows where I was not happy myself, and I felt kind of let down. But time goes on, hours pass by, and I'm like, you know what, though? I sure do have a lot of shit to play. I'm not even going to play it all. It's kind of overwhelming. Wait a second. I forgot I'm drowning in games. But I appreciate that. We have Michael Lynch. He says, MBG 2029 campaign, make podcasting great again. Yeah, well, I will say this too, Michael. There are probably going to be people that cling on to this today, and they want to try to use this as a weapon. Like what I'm trying to do here for the channel and the community. You're going to try to weaponize that. And in my opinion, that just reveals their hand. It shows who they really are and what they're trying to do. It reveals their end goal. And that's fine, but we're going to make it happen. We're going to make it happen. Console drama is sometimes fun. Well, don't get me wrong. Yeah, it can be fun, and it was fun, but it's just it doesn't exist anymore. I mean, you got Nintendo in their own corner doing their thing, and there's a whole like war going on over there that I'm not even part of. Where I'm like, I don't even know what. I mean, people are mad, people are loving it, people are fighting about whether it's worth it, and I'm like, I don't even know what's going on over here, man. Like there's a Cyberpunk on Switch 2 now. That's cool. I think I don't even know what to think anymore. Oh, that's got the Donkey Kong. Got the Donkey Kong over there. That's how I feel. Like I'm just not connected to it. PlayStation, I feel like they're doing their thing now, and I like what they're doing a lot. Most of it. Omen86, you're saying 25 of the 31 games shown at the Xbox show will come to PS5. Arc Systems making a Marvel game for PlayStation. Imagine what's up next. Marvel versus Dragon Ball? I mean, when it comes to the things that Marvel's going to announce, I do know it's not PlayStation related, but they have an Iron Man game in development at EA that is apparently still coming along well. They canceled that Black Panther game, but yeah, man. What you just said, 25 of the 31 games, that's why I'm saying like there's not like I don't know how people could be not unhappy. You can be unhappy with any show. I don't know how people can still look at that fact of like 25 of the 31 games shown at the Xbox show are coming to PS5. And I think the 6 that were not, it's unknown if any of them are. They haven't announced yet. It's crazy to me that people still want to like get in the ring and put the metaphorical boxing gloves on and try to like, come on, let's go. Like, what are you talking about? We have to ban the word fair games. Yeah. We have to ban the word Concord. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I am curious to see what's coming up next, man. There's always something cooking. And PSP Reviewer 100 saying, what happened? What did I miss? The console wars are over, bro. Tarnished, it's all good. No, it's all good. We're all good here. No worries. But yeah, that's basically what you missed, PSP Reviewer. The one thing I can promise you, this is the one thing I can promise you, is, I mean, I mentioned it a moment ago, but, it's just worth reiterating because I'm getting like more people coming in and some people leaving and coming back. And I would assume if you subscribe to this channel, this is why you're here. If you subscribe to this channel because you want PlayStation content, you're going to get that. That's what you're going to get, that guaranteed. Okay. To be clear, because I don't want people to like misconstrue. It's like, oh, So would you become like a cat grooming channel now? You know, you're gonna no. We have Leo Jimmy with a super chat. He says MBG Money Xbox Showcase was great. I'd buy the vampire game, the other Chinese game. I love the way you just. I know exactly what games you're talking about. And actually, yes, those two games were like. Those two games were standout to me. Not grooming, just feeding. The Splinter Cell type game. Wait, hold on. Okay. Yeah, I was confusing the Chinese. Yeah, the Splinter Cell type game. My only problem now is having enough time to run through them, and no Soros gameplay reveal. Yeah, I'm sorry, Leo. It didn't happen, bro. I know it was a shocker that PlayStation's Soros did not show up at the Xbox showcase. Sorry, you didn't get to see that come true. Richrod, you're saying I declare war on bots. You are filthy. Richrod, okay, like it's not a joke, man. It's not a joke. Like we're pack it up, box it up, ship it out. Digital Dude 25 says, how many games do you have pre-ordered? I got DS2, Yotei, Gears of War, Mafia, MGS3. I have, let me see. Death Stranding is pre-ordered. Metal Gear is pre-ordered. Yotei I haven't pre-ordered yet. Oh wait, no, I do have that pre-ordered. I might I don't know. I have to double check. I think I pre-ordered Lost Soul Aside. I pre-order my games physically usually, so I'd have to look over the list again. Mafia I don't have pre-ordered. God, what else? I'm gonna hold on. Let me see. Well, I guess it doesn't. I don't have to pull up the whole list, but I only have a select few pre-ordered. The only thing that like I'm kind of torn on is there are, like I said, there are multiple games coming out in August that I'm like, I want to pre-order this, but I'm certain it's like I'm just gonna end up getting the game and it's just going to sit there unopened for who knows how long. Because, like, I was thinking maybe I could play Mafia before MGS, but I'm like, realistically, probably not, because you're likely still going to be playing Death Stranding. Like, okay. And then I saw, like, Dying Light is coming out, I think, the same week as MGS. It's like, I would pre-order that game. I absolutely would pre-order that game if it wasn't releasing the same week as MGS. To be honest, I haven't looked beyond Ghost of Yotei. I don't have anything pre-ordered beyond that. I don't know how many games there are. I don't know how many I don't know how many games are coming in like November, December. I have to look it over a list. But all I know is that I need to finish Days Gone. That's what I know, Digital Dude. I'm still playing Days Gone. It says I'm 92% complete, and I'm like, okay. Like I'm almost 60 hours into this game. I'm scared. I'm really scared about playing the game on permadeath. Really scared about that because I want to get every trophy, but I don't want to stress about it. So we'll see how that goes. Death Stranding 2 is looking great. Yeah, dude, I'm serious. Like, when I was watching that stream last night, I was like, how does the game look this good? It looks nuts. Like, I mean, gameplay-wise, obviously, we know what to expect. But in terms of just the visual fidelity and straight up, like, even the cutscene they showed, I'm not going to play anything because I know there are people who don't want to see it. I feel like that's just bait. I'm not gonna say who it is, but I feel like that's just bait. Like, you're gonna take one for the team. Whiskey Gaming just like done. Bro was like, I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna take one for the team, boys. Let's test this thing in real time. Oh, he tested it. That's some funny stuff, bro. Oh, we just 18 May. Just there we go. All right. God, where was I here? Carlos, you're saying great decision. All fanboys are the worst. And that's the thing. Listen, I believe wholeheartedly, Carlos, that there are a lot of people who tend to lean into like the fanboy mentality, but I think in reality, they're not actually like that. I'm telling you. I think sometimes it's just a matter of like, depends where you are, depends who you're talking to. Michael with a super chat says, so if I slip up and push back against a stupid comment and get banned, is it for one day? It's not for good, is it? Well, I mean, obviously anybody who gets banned, I can unban if I need to go back and look, but I don't want you to worry, Michael. Like, if anybody who feels like worried, they might, you might have to think like, are you at times being toxic? You know? And that's fine. I want you to think about that. Because it's like, I don't want to make it. We're not gonna. There's not gonna be like an iron fist here, to the extent where it's like, oh, Michael, what you disagree? You don't think Game Pass is the best value in gaming? Well, you're banned. No, like it's not gonna be like that. It's just one thing I'm gonna say to be very careful for, Michael, and it goes for everybody because this is what I fall victim to, right? Not victim to, but I end up stepping in a trap or whatever. There are going to be people who try to bait you, and those are the people who are going to get instantaneously banned. The people who start to bait, where it's like, because this is the biggest problem. The last time I tried to do this was the biggest problem I encountered, is people come in and they're wolves in sheep's clothing, and they try to make it seem like they're here to actually have conversation and have a good time, but they just keep low key over and over, just taking little jabs, pushing it, and they know exactly what they're doing. And it's like, the moment I see it, I'm not even going to announce it. They're going to be gone. Because I'm not dealing with that gaslighting shit, because I'm not, I know a lot of you here. Okay. you guys have been hanging out with me for a long time. The people that I'm talking about, they usually just show up randomly. And so, Michael, you're not going to get banned because of just some random troll that shows up, Smurf, yeah, that doesn't sound too good now, does it? I don't like the sound of that. Wall Digital, dude, I mean, I don't know where they go. Even that seems a bit too extreme. KH, you're saying sorry to chat and run, but have to go take care. MBG, you're one of the good ones. Well, thank you, KH. I appreciate that, man. And Richrod says, I can't let you falter. Xbox haters, let's unite. Richrod, I mean, I just, at this point, I feel pity, I think everybody here, mostly everybody here, I think is on board, man. You think it's not going to last, Joker Thief? We'll see. We'll see what happens. I think it can. I'm going to have some faith, Arthur. You think it's dumb? Well, I mean, that's fine. I don't think it's dumb. I think it's just it probably seems a little bit dumb today. I agree. And because look, I'm an hour and 40 minutes into the stream. I'll be honest, I didn't really even get to talk. We talked about some topics, but there's a hyper focus on it today. But it's just because, yeah, man, when there's a change that's going to occur, I feel like my audience needs to be aware of it so they're not caught off guard. Because I was thinking about just doing this and not telling anybody, but that's just not fair. Exactly. I agree. You're saying, MBG, you built a certain culture and expectation here on your channel, and you expect your audience to pivot on a dime. It's not maybe it's an existential crisis. I don't know. We'll get back to the topics. Listen, man, it shouldn't be difficult. It shouldn't be difficult. That's all. That's all, man. Like, I'm just asking people to not be rude. I'm asking people to not fight and get into arguments over video games. And if that's difficult for people, I'm okay with them leaving. But that's why I do have a certain level of faith in my audience, because I've, a lot of you guys, a lot of you here are good people. You are. And I recognize that. Do some of you get a little out of pocket sometimes? Yeah, and that's normal. And I'm not going to go crazy if people get a little, having a little bit of fun on occasion, whatever, man. Like, I'm not going to be a weirdo about it. I'm just saying, like, I've dealt with too much nonsense for too long on my own channel, and that's just simply not fair to be. Didn't used to be like this. He's implementing the "don't be that guy" rule. There you go. Yeah, don't be that guy, man. If you're worried you're going to be that guy, don't take the chance. All right. Omen86, you're saying Death Stranding 2 looks sick. Decima engine is fire. Yeah, I'm curious to see how Guerrilla Games is going to top Kojima Productions here. They seem to be going like back and forth, passing the ball. Back and forth. Omen86 is like, instant ban, bro. How dare he? I mean, dude, like I've said it multiple times, but I'll say it again. When I saw the first gameplay demo that they showed off yesterday during that stream, like they showed the intro sequence to Death Stranding, and I was watching it with my wife, and I was like, oh, that's not in-game footage, like that's real life they're showing. And then I realized, oh shit, that's not, like, that's in the game. Those are video game graphics. I'm not kidding. Like, I was that thrown off by what I was seeing. I was like, holy shit. And the only reason I knew that was because then it like zoomed in on Sam, and I'm like, yo, okay. Yeah, the cinematic of tomorrow was nuts. Really curious to see what's going on there. It was badass. I love how like Sam was just sitting there with the assault rifle, just like letting her do all the work and just firing it off. I'm really, really curious to see what's going on with Higgs, though, man, because they would not, Kojima and Troy Baker would not, the whole panel would not stop talking about how much he sings in this game. And I'm like, I got to see what they're talking about, because it's just, I don't know, man. It sounds like it's going to go totally off the rails, Well, that might be true. Yeah, okay. That's true to an extent, but man, it's a risk I'm willing to take. I'm trying to have some faith in something good here, Trying to have some good faith. When you're saying some people say Kojima's overrated, it's funny because you think he's a little bit underrated. Yeah, I mean, I see that conversation. I kind of fall in the space of, I think he's right where he should be. I think that he has an immense amount of admiration from the gaming industry, and there are people who absolutely, like, I don't say worship him, but he's on another level in their mind. But I think with that comes, some detractors, people who think, I don't think he's that good, and I think that's normal. I think for somebody in Kojima's position, but the one thing I think, for me personally, when it comes to Kojima, I will always lean on the side of, I think he deserves most of the credit he gets, if not all of it, because like, the Metal Gear Solid games to me are very special, and it's like, yeah, man, he cooked something special there, and I don't think I played anything. I still haven't played anything quite like it. And because of that, Kojima's always going to have that, like, kind of special place for me. Where, like, is he getting too much credit for some things? Maybe. But I think people understand why, mostly anyway. We have Geek Fox says, I really like how Kojima is getting more and more actors into gaming, and holy hell, he uses Decima Engine so well. Absolutely insane. Yeah, man. What's even crazier is we still haven't seen this. I'm pretty sure what we saw yesterday. I could be wrong. They didn't confirm, but I don't think the gameplay we saw yesterday was on PS5 Pro. I think it was on base PS5. So it's like, yeah, man, I don't know what this game's going to look like on the PS5 Pro. Unless that, to be honest, I wouldn't be shocked if what we saw was on the PS5 because it looked that good. I'm like, Jesus, this looks nuts. Decima Engine's no joke. I'm curious to see if more developers end up embracing the Decima Engine. I'm curious to see if that ends up happening or not because the Decima Engine, it seems like such a powerhouse, and like we've seen what Guerilla can do with it. We've seen what Kojima Productions can do with it. Yeah, there were like rumors that Sony Bend was using it, but I don't even know what Sony Bend is working on now, so who knows? I have to admit, I'm like, I may do a dedicated stream talking about it soon, but I am on the verge of completing Days Gone again, and man, I'm having thoughts. I am. Like, I guess what I'll say is like, man, I really did kind of forget how, in my opinion, how good this game was. Like, I think Days Gone gets so much better the further you get into it, and especially when you get to the end. And I'm like, I just think a lot of people didn't make it to that part. I think the beginning and the middle, the pacing is definitely slow, and I think that filtered a lot of people out. But it's such a shame because like this, God, I'm sorry to continue to be that guy, but I really feel like this game did not get a fair shake, dude. Like it did so many things well, and I'm enjoying it. I guess what I'm trying to say is, man, I want to know what Ben's gonna do now. I want to know what Ben's gonna do because I'm enjoying Days Gone so much. Like I was kind of worried that when I replayed it, that I'm actually not gonna like it as much the second time around. Like I'm gonna be like, oh, maybe I did, maybe it was overrated, or maybe I did give it too much credit. And like, no, it's the opposite. I'm like, dude, this game is incredible. Like the horde fights. Come on, Ben. Come on, do something. It does get, yeah. So I do think one of the negatives of Days Gone is it's a little long in the tooth. And I think, again, that's kind of what filters people out. There's a lot of repetitiveness, but I just think it hits those notes that it needs to hit. I do. Anyway, I'll save that for another stream, deeper conversation on that. We have Grant H here with a super chat saying Decima Engine is fire. Makes me want to see what Guerilla's cooking up as well because that's their in-house engine. Well, I'm pretty sure although actually I'm not so sure now that I think about it. Does anybody know if it's been confirmed if the multiplayer game that Guerilla's working on, is that you? I would assume that's using Decima, right? Well, putting the multiplayer game aside, a while ago, Guerrilla Games did confirm that, they're working on a third Horizon game. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be a cross-gen game. I could be wrong, but I feel kind of confident that it's going to be a cross-gen game. Really quick, Sons of Liberty in the chat. I'm sure we will see MGO4 at the Konami Showcase this Thursday. When I saw that announcement that they're doing that showcase, I'm like, is this it? I'm gonna be streaming it, man. I'm gonna be streaming it. I'm just trying not to get my hopes up too high. Because like I'm waiting to find out it's just a single game mode. And it's like, okay, I'll take it. But man, if they listen, my dream, just to be clear, my dream, and I know some people are not gonna like the sounds of this, but my dream is that they're going to be announcing version 1.0 of Metal Gear Online that I think it's going to ship with Metal Gear Delta, but it's going to grow. It's going to be like a live service, essentially. And they're going to grow the multiplayer mode. And it's like every time they remake, like after MGS3, they're going to remake MGS1. They're going to add a bunch of new content, a bunch of MGS1 content to MGO Online or Metal Gear Online. And like, that's my dream, man. That is my dream. I hope they take a lot of sensibilities from Metal Gear Online 1 and Metal Gear Online 2. Metal Gear Online 3, for those who played it, it was okay, but really it lost a lot of the essence of what made those games great. So I don't know, man. I'm sorry, Whiskey Gaming. I know. I couldn't believe it. See, that's the thing. People could say I had a meltdown baby tantrum after the state of play was over, but you can't deny that there were some high highs there, man. That was the highest of high. Yeah, my mic was peaking probably the whole time. It's disturbing how into Metal Gear Online MBG is. I don't know why, man. I don't understand it either. I'm sorry, Shems. I'm sorry. I'll try to like not. Maybe I'll just have to like stand over there and just scream so it doesn't really come through so loud on the mic. Well, you know what the thing is? That reaction was so visceral. Because I'm not kidding when I say like there was, you know how they say like go in with no expectations or low expectations and then you'll actually be surprised. Believe me when I tell you there was no expectation. I'm like that will never happen. Ever. Like it's over, dude. Like Metal Gear Online is never coming back, and if it ever does, it's years and years away. And I remember in the past when we heard Metal Gear was getting announced, or like there were rumors of a MGS3 remake, I remember fantasizing about like, oh my God, could you imagine if they actually brought back Metal Gear Online? I was like, yeah, they'll never do that. And here we are. It's like dreams come up. Maybe we don't have we don't have full confirmation, but it's like maybe, just maybe, dreams do come true. It's the light at the end of the tunnel, man. But yeah, if we react to the Konami show on Thursday, I will try to keep in mind that I need to keep a safe distance from my microphone. If what's about to go down actually goes down, I will have to keep a safe distance. Maybe I should just put myself in a cardboard box, help muffle the sound a little bit. Here's a Splinter Cell. Yeah, what's interesting is there were rumors that was supposed to show up, and it seemed like Ubisoft was even teasing it, and then it just like nothing happened. So MRPD, yeah, I saw the show. It was great. We have Chris Brown. He says Apple announced a dedicated gaming app for their operating system and reported 500 million active users for gaming. That's pretty insane. Xbox and Sony want that. Yeah, I think the most insane part about that, Chris, is the fact that like those 500 million are probably like all super casual gamers, like gamers that if they're going to play stuff, they're likely to gravitate towards like mobile stuff, and that's where like the most amount of money can be made, apparently, or at least a very large portion of it. That is crazy. Yeah, it's interesting to see Apple announcing their own app. I'm gonna have to look into this. Like my question, Chris, because I don't really follow Apple that closely. Do you think this is like a threat? Do you think like Sony or Microsoft view this as a threat potentially, or just something that like they kind of expected? Like surprised it took you this long. See here. If I haven't read your super chat yet, by the way, I'm making my way down the list. I should get to it very soon. The music stuff with Death Stranding 2 is crazy. Full on music with harmonies play when you're on the right path. I think the App Store's actually gotten worse. Leo Jimmy with a $20 super chat. Thank you, buddy, saying MBG money. So Lost Soul aside, MGS, Mind's Eye. Don't care about Death Stranding 2, but Lord God, that game looks yummy. I believe the devs are cramming their games this year before GTA comes out and NG4. Too many bangers. Yeah, so the whole thing with August, I think a lot of developers like Dying Light, Mafia, I think, well, I mean, Mafia's from Take-Two, but you do kind of get the sense that many developers and studios targeted August and maybe early September because they were like, yeah, God forbid we put our game out there at the end of September and GTA is there, or the beginning of October and GTA is there. And it's funny because, now you got to worry about May of next year, assuming it doesn't get delayed again. But yeah, Leo, I mean, it really is one of these things where, sometimes I go in the PlayStation Store and I check out, the pre-order section, and I'm just like, oh, it's one of these things where I just wish there was more space between some of these games, man. Dying Light looks really good. I gotta say, I'm not the biggest Dying Light fan. I played 1, I enjoyed it. 2, I didn't enjoy as much because I don't know, they removed firearms and I felt like that was a step backwards. But I always enjoyed Dying Light, and I see this and I'm like, this looks sick. And it's like, yeah, well, that's too bad because you're gonna be late to it. It's like, okay. That's the thing, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to something like Death Stranding so much, but I get the feeling that Death Stranding is gonna be like a 110-hour game or something, man. 120-hour game, which is good. You're getting your money's worth, but geez. I still, play multiplayer games. I've been trying to play some Helldivers. I still play some zombies with Mrs. MBG. We were playing that Zombies Grief mode last night, which was kind of insane. Pretty funny, actually. Richrod says, last offerings, make sure it's GS who bans me. Richrod, listen, you don't have to get banned. That it doesn't have to be that way. It's okay. We'll accept you. We will listen, if Richrod, if you have to become normal and just talk normally, we will accept you. We will encourage that. You don't, it's okay, man. It's like, no, I got to go out the way I came in. I'll give him an honorable ban. Yeah, he'll come back in 2 days later, Richrod 2.0. Clockwork Revolution. That game looked, yeah, I mean, it didn't speak to me personally, but it seems like it could be a bigger title. Yeah, I completely forgot about that game. I forgot it even existed until I kind of realized what I was looking at in the trailer. I'm like, oh. Dude, speaking of that trailer, was I the only one who thought that the main character, I think it's the main character, sounded just like Carl Urban, like Butcher from The Boys? Was that him? It really sounded like him. Saying Night Rain greater than MGS Online, bro. No way. I'm like, Richrod, it's okay. You can be normal, bro. Richrod in the chat, fight the power. Richrod, I thought you like PlayStation, man. Walsh is chilling. How long is Death Stranding 2? I mean, we don't have an exact count, but people who previewed the game, they played it for 30 hours and they were about 30 to 35% done, I think. So seems like it's going to be a 100-hour game. It's a long one. Carlos with a super chat says, damn, it's crazy how people are complaining about not being a dick regarding game companies. I mean, listen, I think it's because some people, they're not taking it seriously. And I get that. A lot of it is just for jokes. My problem, and I guess the reason why I have to be this way now, is because people have made things, not you guys in the chat, but I've come across too many things where people are making things too personal and they're too relentless. And I'm just like, okay, well, I need to try to get as far away from this as possible for not only my sake, but the sake of the channel. Because, I understand sometimes people are just joking. I totally get that. And I'm not trying to, I don't want people to think that they can't make jokes or just have a little bit of fun. You can. But 99% of the time in this space, when talking about, unfortunately, yes, when talking about video game companies, people get pretty serious pretty quickly. No. It's not for people who aren't even here. It's because it goes both ways. Like, listen, man, I'll say this too. And yeah, Devil Shooter, I know I'm not trying to stop it. It's about controlling the space that I can control, right? Where like, I don't want people to think that like, oh, this is a safe haven for PlayStation fanboyism. Like where I could just be crazy. Like, no, like this is a good place if you're a PlayStation fan. Absolutely. Like if you enjoy PlayStation. I just don't want people to think that like, this is like a go-to like haven or some shit for like, this is where we go. Cause I see that, dude. I see that. And that's the cringiest shit to me ever. Where like there are these places that people congregate where it's like the expectation is we shit on this one thing here. That's what we do. And people are like, yeah, this is the place to be. It's like, all right, I mean, to each their own. It's cringe to me, and I'm not even necessarily judging. I just think like, I don't know, man. I just want to talk about games that I think are cool. I like engaging in the competitive talk. I always enjoyed the competitive talk. And to be fair, listen, if Microsoft came out yesterday and one of the things I was interested to see if Microsoft was going to do this or not is like, did they change their mind on anything? I was kind of waiting to see that. Like, did they change their mind? And it's like, from what I gather, they didn't. Like they showed the Gears of War trailer and showed the PlayStation 5 logo. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this is it, man. Like they're committed. Like they're releasing they're not pulling back on it, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm like, all right, well, yeah, this is it. This is where things are going. So, would have never expected it to go down this way, to be honest, though. Michael Lynch, you're saying, do people claim Steven Spielberg is overrated? No. And yes, it's a good comparison. Both are considered the best in the field. I don't know. I mean, there has to be people out there that believe Steven Spielberg's overrated, right? Maybe there's not many, but they have to exist. I do think Kojima, like the most important thing that I think Kojima did throughout his entire career, and I think like what solidified him as you will be an all-time great. Like if there was going to be like a Mount Rushmore of like video game devs, like you'll be one of the ones up there. I think it was with MGS1 because what he did with that game was something that no other video game had done before. Not even close. Where, people look at a game like The Last of Us and they give the, Naughty Dog so much credit because it's like, this feels like the first time a video game was actually taken seriously, and I'm like, well, yeah, but Kojima kind of did that already. Not in the same way. Like The Last of Us is taken seriously to an extent where it's like, you know, it's like a very grounded, gritty, like, holy shit, I didn't realize like there could be this level of maturity, and presented in such a professionally cinematic way, right? I look at Metal Gear Solid 1 and I'm like, Kojima kind of did that, not exactly the same, the subject matter, like there wasn't, the scene to scene comparison doesn't exist, but I just think about how Metal Gear Solid 1 people were enthralled with. It's like, I'm playing an action movie, but then the cutscenes we're getting and the cinematics and the dialogue, it's like, it's just as good as a movie. It like broke new ground, And Silent Spartan comes in and drops 5 membership gifts for you guys. Silent Spartan decides he wants to keep the member train going today, bringing us up to 30. Thank you so much for that, Silent Spartan.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let me add that to the counter there. Yeah, I really do appreciate that, man. Thank you guys for all your support. Dropped any memberships, super chats, I appreciate it. Any direct donations. Yeah, we'll see if we can keep that going. I know Leia would like some catnip. And Silent Spartan comes in and drops 20 memberships on you guys. 20 memberships, boss. Holy shit, dude. Leia, get in here. Leia, it's time for the catnip. Let me see if I can get her. Silent Spartan, thank you so much, dude. Holy crap.
Holy shit.
I said holy crap, and then it said holy shit. Leia. Boss, you want some? I promised it. You got treats already. I promised Leia. Leia. Where are you? And Omen86 comes in and drops another 5 memberships on you guys. Omen is keeping it going, taking us past the 50 mark, taking us to 55. Omen, thank you so much, man. Really appreciate you guys just getting a big member train started out of nowhere. Let me update that for you. And Omen, here. This one's for you, Omen.
This is how you share your games on PS4.
Back when console warring was still a thing. The good old days. The good old days of the console war, I don't know where Leia is. All right, boss. I guess we'll just have to settle for boss getting some catnip. Come on. Here we go, man. You good? He's like processing, like, wait, what is this? You know what it is. It's catnip. So Leia is in the room. She's just on the other side of it. So I'll let boss enjoy himself a little bit, and then I'll bring her over. Sometimes Leia is a little bit lazy, But yeah, guys, thank you so much for the support, man. Just like that, we went from 25 members to 55. You guys are awesome. Really, really appreciate the continued support. All right, let me make sure I'm not missing any super chats. No, there's still a couple more I'm a little bit behind on. MVP Moss 84 says there's nothing wrong with cutting out the negativity and toxic people. You can't have coherent conversations with these people or those people. I'm on board with it. Well, yeah, that's a simple way of putting it, MVP Moss, and that's really all it boils down to is there's a lot of chaotic people with chaotic energy, and I've allowed too much of it in my space, and it's distracted me from actually talking about the things I want to talk about. MRPD, a member for 21 months, says, what would have happened if Sam slipped and fell in the mountain with the actual toddler attached on him? Yeah, I was wondering. They were saying that gameplay demonstration was live, and I'm like, he's running pretty quick down a very steep mountain, and he's got like a 2-year-old harnessed on his chest. What if he falls like face forward? I'm pretty sure nothing like bad actually happens. I think Lou just gets upset, and then you have to sue them, and calm her down or whatever. And so I was a little bit nervous watching it. I'm like, for a fact that he's been practicing this, readying up for the live demo. And I was like, man, this is going to be a bad place to slip up. Like, he just, like, falls so bad. He falls at the steepest point of the mountain, and then they just die. It'd be a hell of a demonstration, man. No pressure. Digital Dude 25 with a $10 super chat says, I can't believe they ended the show with Call of Duty. Can you imagine if the state of play ended with NBA 2K26? LMAO, the outrage. That's going to be their show ender for the next 10 years. Yeah, I understand why they did it, because I was kind of surprised by the time we got to the end of that show. I'm like, where's Call of Duty? It's like, there's no way they do a showcase with no Call of Duty now. But then I thought to myself, well, they made Call of Duty the main focus last year. Maybe Activision just wants to do it on their own terms now, outside of the Xbox showcase. I was like, that would make sense. And so I have to say, I was pretty bamboozled, man. Like, the thing is, I will say this. I am interested in Black Ops 7 just because I've always been interested in the Black Ops storyline, although it's gotten kind of convoluted and all over the place. But I have a great nostalgia specifically for Black Ops 1 and 2. And so I am interested in, like, okay, we're going back. This is like a sequel to Black Ops 2. We got Alex Mason, is it Alex Mason? I know it's like Mason's son. It's like, okay, we'll see what happens. But what really just bamboozled me is, like, when I was watching that trailer, I'm like, this is a new IP. This is something different. What could it be? Which studio could be working on? These were all the things that were going through my head. And I was like, oh, fuck that. Okay, what? Like, I kind of couldn't believe it when I saw it. I was like, they were just like, it was like Menendez. I'm like, that's Call of Duty? What? So, yeah, I have to be honest, man. I don't think any way you cut it, any way you slice it, I think anybody can admit that Call of Duty is kind of a weak show closer. But yeah, I mean, it's Microsoft's biggest, like, by far their biggest moneymaker now. And so I don't want to say it's going to be their closer every year now, but I think it confirms to me that they will never not have a showcase where Call of Duty doesn't show up in a big way. And until it stops making them that money, dude, it's hard to blame. Oh. I want to ask you guys too, because this was kind of funny. I've been seeing this trending a little bit. You remember during Summer Game Fest, the director of Splitgate 2? Holy shit. Have you got, like, were you guys seeing how roasted this guy was getting? Like, he was getting roasted to oblivion. Boss, what is that? Don't hurt me. What is that? Ow. Okay. Sorry, I thought Boss had blood on him. It's not blood. It looks like icing. Or something. What is that? I'm not... Okay. He thinks I'm trying to play with him. Yeah, that's your punishment, Richrod. Richrod, just be normal, please. Sorry. I was saying that, like, what was weird to me is I remember watching that reveal at Summer Game Fest and thinking, man, that was pretty cringe. I'm not going to lie. Like, the cringiest part was when he, like, got dead serious at the end and, like, threw the thing over his shoulder and, like, walked out all serious. But you know he was serious. Like, it wasn't a joke. It's like, no, this is earnest. It was very cringe. But I was like, oh, okay, well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe people will just think it was a joke. It'll probably be fine. But then I saw people, like, pointing out the fact that he went on stage and he kind of roasted all these other FPS games and was like, we need Titanfall 3. and then proceeds to like announce a battle royale with like $80 microtransactions. Although I think they reduced the prices now, they're like 40, but it's like, yeah, that's weird behavior in my like I understand like the confidence, but it's like, dude, you can't take shots at other games and then come out and basically be the same type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, it would have been even better if he's like, we want Titanfall 3. And he's like, so we made something that's like that. He didn't even do that. It was really strange. And then he's got, I have to admit, I think they reached peak cringe. I'm not trying to be too harsh on it, but I think the peak cringe came in the form of, I didn't notice when he was on stage, but his hat said make FPS games great again or something like that. And I'm just like, there's no way. Like, because whoever thought of that was like, this is genius. This is the best marketing we could ever do. And I'm like, you don't understand. You don't understand that is quite literally some of the worst marketing you could ever do. And I don't know, man. The whole situation, the more I learn about Splitgate, the stranger it becomes. Because it's like, apparently Splitgate 1 was an insane success. It was an insane. Oh, okay, hold on. It was a huge success story, but they just, I guess, were like, no, we can do it better. Hold on, stop playing our game, stop buying our game, stop giving us money. We can do it better. And everybody was like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? Like, no. The first one's all, like, this is fine. This is fine. And they're like, no, we can make it better. And they tried to make it better, and they like either, I don't know if they made it worse, but it just seems like they lost people where it's like, dude, you had them in the palm of your hand, and then you let them go. And I don't know why. So I don't know. Weird situation. Boss, can you please leave? Because Leia would like some catnip. Okay, he's not listening. Leia, I'm sorry. He can make some room. You both can fit up there. Don't run away. Okay. Anyway. Direct donation. Okay. Hold on. I'm still a little bit behind on super chats. I'm sorry I'm taking so long. All right, let me read the rest of these super chats, and then we'll read the direct donation. Omen86 says, got a text from a buddy of mine, diehard Xbox OG, saying that seeing Death Stranding 2 gameplay convinced him to get a PS5 Pro, one more converted. I mean, that's good stuff though, man, because like it's interesting to me because Death Stranding 2 doesn't seem like the type of game off the like top of my head where like that's going to be a game that wins. Like, I don't see it as a system seller. But then again, I think that's because I'm kind of biased towards Kojima in a way where like I remember when I was still playing on Xbox, I was like, once Death Stranding drops, I'm buying a PS4 for that game no matter what. So for me, it is a system seller, but I think I view it as because that's just due to the built-in bias of I love Metal Gear. But yeah, man, I guess I maybe I am slightly underestimating the potential console seller factor of something like Death Stranding 2, where it does look very good. It's interesting because like Kojima, he's still being totally real about it though. Like even yesterday in a stream, he's like, even with this action oriented gameplay I'm showing you, it's still a delivery game. Like he straight up said it that way. He said it's still a delivery game. And I'm like, I appreciate that. He's keeping it real. He's not trying to like sell people on anything else. He's just saying, here's what you can do in the game. It's still a delivery game at heart. And yeah, I guess, I think people appreciate that. I think people appreciate that honesty, and it makes it easier for them to decide, like, is this what I want to, do I want to buy a PS5 Pro for this potentially? But that's good shit, man. That's a good, yeah, I'm concerned about Death Stranding 2 spoilers as well. I didn't even really think about that. That's going to be a tough one. And we have Piper saying, so what's your feeling on the fact that Microsoft Handheld will play Sony games? We're getting a first-hand look at the new Xbox operating system. I think it's fine. I mean, honestly, Piper, like, I don't see a problem. I'm not in charge of Sony. I don't get to make their decisions. I also don't have the charts in front of me. I don't have the data. I only have the data that Sony makes public and shows. The only reason I would see Sony having any type of potential concern about this is if they thought, for some reason, is gamers having access to your library of PlayStation Steam games on this dedicated Xbox handheld, Xbox Asus handheld hybrid or whatever, is that going to stop people from buying PlayStation consoles? Is that going to convince somebody who was thinking about buying a PlayStation from not doing so anymore? I don't know what Sony's thought on that is. All I know is my thought on that is no way. I don't think so at all. I see more sales, potentially. I see Sony still selling a large amount of consoles, doing just fine, and potentially getting games like God of War, Spider-Man, Last of Us, Helldivers, right? Like getting a couple, getting some more sales. Maybe not a ton, maybe not a whole lot, but getting some. I don't think it's a problem. And I don't really understand at this point in time how anybody could see it as a problem, simply for the fact that if you're somebody who really cares about the console ecosystem, you're like, well, I'm concerned that Sony's going to make the PS5 console pointless to own. I'm like, okay, I understand where your concern comes from. Has that happened yet? Well, no. Okay. Do you think that's going to happen? And I think people have an unhealthy, and I say this because I've kind of been down this road before. It's like people have an unhealthy amount of fear that they, I think, project onto things, where it's like, I get it. It's like when I talk about the Xbox side of things, I remember when Microsoft announced they were going day and date with PC during like Quantum Break or whatever. People were like, well, there's no point owning an Xbox. And it's like, that may be true, like, technically speaking. I don't think that matters right now. And I think people don't look at they don't see things as clearly as they should. Hold on one sec. Sorry about that. I realized that I forgot to make my coffee. Got my nerdy PlayStation mug, bro. I'm full Sony pony today. But yeah, went this whole time without coffee. What I was trying to say, because I did have a point I was trying to make before I interrupted myself by walking away. I think people tend to overlook the fact that if you want to use what Microsoft did in the past, where like Microsoft went day and date with PC with everything, and look at what happened to the Xbox console, they're ignoring the reality that, like, dude, the Xbox One was already on a downward trajectory. It was on a downward slope, And I think people overlook that, where they they don't realize that whether Microsoft decided to go day and date with PC or not probably wouldn't have made much of an impact on what was going to happen with Xbox One console sales. It seems like that console was kind of destined to not sell that great with or without exclusives. And so, yeah, man, I feel like people look at that as like evidence. Like, see, if Sony does that, the same thing's going to happen. I'm like, well, I don't know what's going to happen, but all I do know is Sony's been releasing games on PC for the last 5 or 6 years, and the PS5's selling just fine. I'm not saying there couldn't be a change in that if Sony were to radically change their strategy. There could be a change, but it's all good, you know? And I have to read this chat from Silent Spartan, and then I have a direct donation. Silent Spartan, a member for 19 months, says, MBG, what is your overall hype level for DS2 on the beach? Glad to keep supporting the content, but we need more members lounges. Yeah, I know. I've been dropping the ball with that big time the past like 2 months, and we're going to be bringing more. I might even do one today for a little bit. I owe you guys that at least. But yeah, we'll be bringing back more members lounges for sure. And my overall hype level, I would say, is probably like a 9 to 9.5 out of 10. I'm just not giving it a 10 out of 10 only because I don't want to create like an unrealistic expectation where like I don't know that this game will be perfect. There may be some things that I'm like, oh, this is a little bit silly or a little bit, maybe there's a part in the game I don't like or whatever, but very, very high. I really thoroughly enjoyed Death Stranding 1. Death Stranding 1, it was a game that it took me a little bit to really get into the gameplay loop, but once I did, I kind of got sucked into it, and everything about Death Stranding 2 sounds majorly improved upon. So I do think that I'm going to have a better time overall. Like, I'm going to enjoy DS2 more than I enjoyed DS1, and I enjoyed DS1 a lot. So very high, 9.5. MBG, I'm very happy Sucker Punch confirmed the booty at the hot springs in Ghost of Yotei. It would have been a double standard and hypocritical if they didn't include it like they did with Jin. Agreed. I mean, I agree on the part that it would have been. I was worried about. I'm like, come on, bro, you got it. Once you get the hot springs in there, you're gonna be showing Jin cheeks. Jin cheeks all throughout the game. Can't take it away now. Thoughts on the Switch 2 selling 3 million in the first day? I did talk about this earlier, Tarnished. I'm not surprised at all. Yeah, I did cover exactly what you're talking about here. We talked about that a little bit. I might have to change the title, actually, because I ended up talking about other things and not the Sony handheld. All right, let me check my direct donations once again. Hold on. I know we got... Okay, so Richrod says, I like PlayStation, ! And that's all he said. That's all he said. Richrod, I'm proud of you. You did it. Richrod. Okay, so guys, you know as well as I do that that's not all he said. Richrod, what, like, what, I don't know how to even respond to what you actually said. Like, I'm telling people not to be rude and to be polite, and you're out here. You're saying that a group of people are just as filthy as the poop rings in the rest area toilet. How can we be better, Richrod? How can we get you where we need to get you, Richrod? Because this just ain't good, man. Gaming Survivor, I want you to hold for now, because I want to see If we can recondition Richrod, he can be the prime example of like he could be the shining beacon of what we can strive to be if we can properly recondition him. It is hard. I mean, yeah, it's. I don't know. I don't think it's earnest. Yeah, I don't think it's earnest. And he says one last butterscotch. I forgot to read that part. I will miss the butterscotch. I will miss that. See, that's harmless. Butterscotch is harmless. It seems as though Richrod may get the Mrs. MBG pardon. There's a real chance. I don't know about this one though. We got to be careful. His jokes are clearly harmless. No, I know. No, Richrod, in all seriousness, Richrod, I'm only going to get serious for just a moment. All right? But it's important to me. All right? There are two things. Okay? Number one, don't mention any other content creators. Okay? Because if I read that, people take that the wrong way. I don't have any problems with any other content creators, man. I'm not trying to start any beef. I don't have any beef. All right? So don't do that. Number two, just like I said, no violence. That's it. All right? So it's all in jest. Beef is good. I do enjoy beef. To eat. Not like internet beef, you know? Let me see here. We have scuba tank filled with farts. What is happening? He says, don't forget the Xbox One and the PS5 were the first consoles to come out months apart from each other, forcing people to choose one, really. Are you sure? Well, now I'm very confused, Scuba Tank, because you're saying Xbox One and PS5. The Xbox One and PS5 were years apart, bro. I think you meant the PS4. So the PS4 release date was November 15th. And the Xbox One was November 22nd. They were only like a week away from one another. Oh, wow. I forgot that the Xbox One came out a week after the PS4. That definitely didn't help it, yeah. Even though it's only a week, that definitely doesn't help it. Even though it's just a week, I will say that, like, considering the PS4 already had so much momentum, it's like it made it that much easier for people to be like, I'm not waiting a week. It makes me wonder if any difference could have been made if Microsoft moved the launch up a day, you know? Or not a day, but like a week or two. Yeah, that's true too, Smurf. It was also $100 more. I forgot about that too. Yeah, man. Well, I got the one instead of the four. I mean, like, listen, man, to be fair, the Xbox One had a pretty decent launch lineup. I mean, like, they had Titanfall. They had, like, look, I know Rise Son of Rome is not considered a very good game. That game was pretty good. Gotta be honest. Rise Son of Rome, I feel like that game kind of got the shit into the stick a little bit, you know? Like, it wasn't that bad. Yeah, it's Sunset Overdrive. Dusk Golem announced more RE news is coming soon. Well, yeah, I mean, dude, Dusk Golem is still claiming. Somebody told me that he posted right before Resident Evil 9 was announced. He's like, he basically revealed the name of the game, saying it's going to be Requiem, which means he's got a source. Which means a lot of the things he was saying might turn out to be true. He's still hanging on to Resident Evil 9 is going to star Leon, mostly. This Grace character is a new character and will be a main character, and you will play as her sometimes, but Leon is the main playable protagonist in this game, and we just don't know yet. And I've been seeing people even theorizing that Leon is the hooded character we see in the game, or in the trailer, which seems like a villain, like a bad guy, a murderer. And he said it is third person. Yeah, so I think Capcom is trying to do a lot of misdirection with the Resident Evil 9 trailer. Leon turns into Wesker. Oh God. You didn't get the one until they got rid of the Kinect and dropped the price. I think that was for a lot of people. Yeah. I mean, the whole thing is, I thought the concept of the Kinect was okay. Like, my whole thing that I liked was the idea of, like, kind of being able to use the Kinect as a way to, like, chat and stuff, which I did. And I was like, that was cool. Most of the other features that had to, I was like, I don't know that I'm interested in this, though. Yeah, I there were things that I liked about the Xbox One when it first launched. But yeah, it became pretty clear shortly after the Xbox One came out that, okay, Microsoft's, they have a world of problems right now. And I don't know. I was rooting for him. The Kinect spied on me, bro. The Xbox handheld is rumored to be $800. Oh, you talking about the new one that was just revealed? $800. What? Holy shit. Is that what you're talking about? Well, I mean, that's just a rumor. Yeah, I didn't look into the pricing of it. I didn't look into it too much. I'm not interested in it, but oh my God, $800 is crazy. Yeah, that's expensive. I don't I mean, I guess you really have to be into handheld gaming to makes me wonder how much the Sony handheld's going to be, man. Well, you know, the thing is, I'm not sure if it's going to be priced at $800. I don't think it will flop because I don't think they're going for volume. Yeah, it's going to be a very niche product. If they're charging $800 for it, that means they're going to be making a handsome profit off of each unit sold. So I think it's just more about the profit margin than the volume of units sold. That's my guess anyway. Oh yeah, the Ally X went up to $1,000. Michael, you're saying that's $800 you get to save. It's free with Game Pass. Can I say that? You could say that, Shems. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. You're banned, Shems. You're out. I'm dropping the hammer on you, bud. I actually didn't check the specifications of it either. I mean, for $800, this thing must be pretty beastly, I would assume. Very capable. If I paid $800 for a handheld, I'm expecting that thing to run games pretty damn good. Damn good. Not, like, perfect, but people were using the Kinect to ghost hunt. Good times. Good times. We have Richrod with a very peculiar direct donation. Very peculiar indeed. Richrod says, Matthew 5:9, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Psalm 34:14, turn from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. This might be the craziest 180 we've ever witnessed, guys. This might be the wildest turnaround. Bro immediately went to God. He found God. He found God during this stream. Yeah, either that or he's been hacked. I knew he could do it. I knew he could do it. He's going to have to rename himself. Preacher Rod 908. I appreciate that, Richrod. He gets it. He's been saved. Either that or maybe there's like an internal battle going on right now, you know? The light and the dark, they're battling within him, because I get the feeling that there's going to be more in the future and they might not be as righteous. It's an AI double. Ever seen Split, the movie? That's rich. Darkness rises and the light to meet it, bro. Oh my God. Scaring my audience into submission. You will submit. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that. So William Aguilar, this is where I got the info from anyway. Apparently, Sony confirmed their business segment meeting is going to happen on June 12th or 13th. I'm not going to be able to stream it because it's at 2 a.m. for me. So, yeah, it's going to have to be like the next day for me. But this segment meeting, business segment meeting, there will be a presentation for each of the different segments for the company: games, movies, music. And they have a game and networks service. Obviously, that's going to be a whole focus. Its whole presentation. We're going to get a presentation from Hideaki Nishino, who is the president and CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, and then also a presentation from Herman Hulst, who's the CEO of the business group. The length of each presentation and fireside chat is going to be about 20 minutes. And it is worth noting this is going to be the first business meeting segment we get with the new leadership, new CEO of Sony, Hiroki Totoki. So I will definitely react to this, and we can, if I can find the streams, when I'm streaming that day, when it's out, we'll bring it up, check it out. I will be very curious to know like what they're going to say. I mean, it might be more of the same and the strategy isn't changing, or it could be hints of some major changes coming. Kaz Jam, a member for 25 months, says, I paid $1,000 for my MSI Claw 8. It's a beast. Well, yeah, that's what I mean, man. There is a market for it. I think it's just a smaller market, and I think that these companies have realized that there are people who want these products and they're willing to pay for them. I mean, yeah, for $1,000, it's got to be a beast, right? What's the battery life on that thing? That is a lot. Boss is passed out. So here's what we'll do. Guys, we'll do like a last call here. We still maybe like another 5. I think we'll go for like another 10 minutes or so, give or take. We're going to do a members lounge. It's been a long time since we've done a members lounge. Don't know if it's going to be a super long one, but we're going to do one. We're going to hang out. It's been too long. So if you are a channel member, please look forward to that. And we'll do like a last call if you want to drop any more channel or member gifts, give people access to that. Or if you want to become a member, you have any more super chats, any more direct donations, anything of that nature, now would be the time to drop them. Did you order that new mic? Why is the goal gone? Oh, you're talking about the, hold on. Is that not up? Oh, shit, it isn't up. Hold on. Oh, I got to add to that. Hold on. Okay. Nope, there it is. Is it all messed up now? Okay, so hold on. Give me a second to add this up. Need to refresh this. I don't know why that looks like that. Everything's still a little messed up from all the streams we did previously. So, Irate Volcano, thank you so much, buddy. Okay, so I think we're at 183 now. Hold on. This should be accurate. Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't even realize that wasn't up anymore. But we didn't hit the goal yet. Not yet. But we're on our way. Irate Volcano, thank you for renewing your membership, buddy. I do appreciate that. That brings us up to 56 members on the day. Oh, you mentioned that? I'm sorry. Yeah, I must have not seen that. My bad. I didn't even realize it wasn't up. Yeah. It's because sometimes I have to move everything around when I'm streaming these events to make sure they're not up on screen when we're watching that stuff. We got a member. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding. Absolutely. Okay. I'm just closing out some of these tabs so I can clean all of this up. Get rid of this. Okay. Let me bring the chat back up. So I'm going to have to update the title a little bit. What do we... I'll just put Death Stranding 2 looks incredible for now. We did talk about some other stuff, but I didn't get a chance to talk about the... Basically, all you need to know, if you tuned into this stream to know about the low power mode, basically what you need to know is Sony is putting out an update for developers, a low power mode for the PS5 and PS5 Pro. And there's no, like, this comes from Moore's Law is Dead, and he has received internal, like, classified documentation. It's supposed to be for developers only. And this confirms that it's real. It's a real thing they're putting out there. And it basically reduces the power consumption of the PS5 and the Pro. It reduces the PS5 Pro down to like 36 compute units. It reduces the audio, the 3D audio down by like 75%. And all of this is seemingly done in preparation for the handheld. Because like they're trying not to have the handheld leak. So that's why they're not really apparently saying it in the documentation, but that's what it's in preparation for. And Kepler L2, who's been leaking stuff regarding the handheld, is kind of confirming that, yeah, that's what this is for. So it seems like it's real. It's happening. What do you think about including some sort of fitness update or content on the channel? You are a muscle-bound gamer, but there's no fitness element to the channel. Well, there is technically a fitness element to the channel. It's been a little bit since we did it, but we do reps. We do some exercises on stream sometimes. I guess because it just hasn't been too exciting. I've just, I work out in my basement. I work out at home. Haven't been as consistent lately. I need to mainly focus on my diet. Yeah, that's the thing that's been needing fixing for a while. Still needs fixing. You think the PlayStation handheld's going to be woefully out of date? Yeah, I don't. It's the pricing of it that I'm thinking Sony's probably going to have two offerings. I think they're going to have a PS Portal 2, which is maybe a PS Portal with a slightly updated screen or something where it's a streaming device. But then I think they're going to, and I think it'll be affordable. It'll still be like $200. But then I think they're going to have this premium handheld, and I think it's going to be very expensive. I mean, if it's the thing is, if this handheld is going to play the majority of PS5 games, like, it's going to have to be an expensive device. There's no way it's going to be a cheap device. But I think Sony wants to kind of maybe have two offerings. I don't think there's anything wrong with continuing to offer the PS Portal as just an option because it's just a streaming device, He's oh he's back. He's back. I am curious to see how Sony rolls out the PlayStation handheld though. Handheld, like I feel like they're clearly trying to get it ready in time for the PS6, but I don't know. I mean, would it be smart to release two devices at the same time, like the PS6 home console and then the portable? Maybe give some space. Maybe they'll do the console first, and then later on, like a year later or something, they'll do the handheld. But I do think Sony has to have their own offering. I do. I think that's important. All right. I think we're going to be good to go here. And okay. Yeah, guys, I think we're good to go. This will pretty much wrap up today's stream. We're going to be heading over to the members lounge. We're going to hang out there for a while, chat. I actually don't have a PlayStation Portal yet. I want to get one. That's like I think that's the last thing I need to buy. I pretty much have everything else. I don't know why I'm waiting so long on it. I'll get one eventually, though. There's actually been multiple times I could have used it, too, which is sad. Like, I actually had multiple use cases pop up where I'm like, I kind of wish I had a Portal. I just haven't bought one yet. I will at some point, though. Eventually. All right, guys. Again, Members Lounge is coming up after this. So if you're a member, look out for that. Have your notifications turned on. It should let you know. We're going to hang out there for a while. Before I go, though, I want to thank everybody. I'm sorry that so much of today's conversation was focused on, we'll probably touch on it in the Members Lounge a little bit if you want. But, there are just some things I wanted to clear up and talk to you guys about. I just want everybody to be on the same page. I have a goal in mind. Like, I have a destination where I want us to go. But, in order to do that, we all kind of have to be on the same page. And so I want to thank you guys. A lot of super chats today. We hit 56 members, a lot of direct donations. You guys are what powers the channel. Okay. You are make it so that I can keep it sponsorship free. Just keep it flowing as it is. And I really, really appreciate that. So for anybody who has supported the channel directly, big shout out to you. And thank you so much for that. Thank you to everybody who, just supports the channel in general by watching the content. I did put out a news video earlier. You can go check that out if you missed it. And, yeah. You still don't understand the XP? Honestly, I keep forgetting it's a thing. Yeah, I don't understand it either. Like, I think YouTube has to maybe figure out more. They got to figure out something else that they can add to this community XP thing, because I don't. It just seems a bit all over the place. I don't even know what the point of it is. I guess it does encourage engagement, but it seems like it doesn't accurately track. I don't know. It's really weird. I have no control over it though. So, all right, guys. To all my members, I'll see you in the lounge in just a couple minutes. To everybody else, please enjoy the rest of your day. Consider becoming a member to join us. And yeah, we should be back here tomorrow. Richrod says he is peaceful now. He's seen the light. And all right, that does it. So guys, I'll catch you in the next one. Till then, take care, everyone.